Hi, my name is Mark Wells. It's good to be with you again, and today we're going to talk about some FES Flower Essences that are useful for people who have been involved or suffered bullying in their workplace, at school, or wherever. The first couple of essences I'll speak about are about speaking up, asserting yourself, speaking your truth, being able to stand up when you are under a bit of pressure from external circumstances. Cosmos is the first one we'll look at. Now, Cosmos is about speaking up, but speaking your truth, being able to articulate exactly how you feel in a circumstance and not be thrown by what's going on around. It's quite a useful one in public speaking for that reason, in the sense that you can have a whole lot of thoughts going on in your mind, and what do I say here, and it's getting in the road of you being able to articulate exactly what you want to say and how you want to say it. And Cosmos can help that. It can come through, and it can come through honestly. And it's an interesting thing when people speak their truth or its honest expression. It seems to be heard better. It has more impact, and it's less likely to be pounced on or ridiculed. The other one is Sunflower. Now, Sunflower is about standing up and just being who you are, feeling good about yourself. It is about self-esteem and just feeling confident that I'm okay, and this is the person I want to show to the world, the true me. Now, sunflower is an interesting one. If you look at other aspects of the plant, such as the seeds, they're rich in silica. And for me, silica is all about structure. It's all about, the strength of the way something's built. So to me, it gives the person, if you like, a bit of spine, and to be able to stand up and say, listen, this is me. And take it or leave it. The next thing I want to talk about is more about self-assurance, personal strength, and giving that off. One of the things about people that get taken advantage of or become targets of bullies, of narcissists or whatever, there's almost, with a lot, it's difficult for them to display that self-assurance. And some of the nasty people out there, some of the people that are going to take advantage of other people, pick up on that. So there's a couple of essences that are very good for the person who's not loud, they're not that type of person, but it just helps to develop that self-assurance, which, a presence, a healthy and strong presence. And violet is one, we talk about the shrinking violet. That's a sort of an apt name, perhaps, if you like for the negative side of the essence. But violet also is a very attractive flower. It has a very attractive odor. You mightn't be able to see it, but you can certainly smell it amongst the other flowers. But there's a strength there that can be brought out. And violet, taking the essence, can help that with people who are generally more of the quiet side. They're never going to be the loud, out there extroverts, but violet just gives them that sort of sense of self-assurance and presence, so they don't become the targets, and they're able to speak up when they need to. Buttercup's another one too. Buttercup's sort of similar to sunflower, but I find it's really good for people when they're in roles in society that may not have a lot of kudos. They may well deserve it, but they may not be seen as very out there type situations. And I often find Buttercup's really good for mums with young children, and they're doing something. They're running the house or running the family. It's not something that's out there on television or anything like that, or making a big noise. But it is so important, and unfortunately, not quite valued as it should be. But that's just an example. But Buttercup helps a person feel as though what they're doing is important. It might be in the background a bit, but it is extremely important. Feeling again good about themselves, having that sort of self-assurance, and not being easy targets for people who tend to bully or use aggressive means to get their way. Another one's mountain pride. Now, mountain pride is about standing up again, but standing up for your principles and your values. When you're in a board meeting, when you're at work, when you're in your family gathering, or anywhere at school with kids, you believe in something strongly. Having the strength and self-assurance to actually express those principles and those values that you truly believe in. Mountain pride is brilliant then, particularly if you're having difficulty standing up to the peer group pressure around you, and say, well, I don't really believe in it. This is what I believe in, and that's how it is. And standing up for your own principles, living that out, practically living out your values or principles gives you strength. And mountain pride will do that. And I mean, it's very aptly named. It is about pride in yourself and your beliefs. Another aspect that we have to look at, and that's about how do people bounce back, later in life when they've been subjected to bullying. The trauma of that, when they've been through that at a workplace and they're in a new job, when they've grown up at school. I had a little call from a gentleman I went to school with, and he's my ilk, in the mid-60s, and he was definitely bullied at school. I came from an era where, well, I didn't bully, but I sometimes feel regretful that I didn't defend either. But we all had to survive, and but he was very much bullied. But he just rang me out of the blue. I hadn't spoken to him for 30 years, and he's still talking to me as if those things happened yesterday, and they're still with him. And it just shows you what that bullying can have, the impact can have. So I think it's really good to look at a couple of remedies that we could use in those circumstances. Hibiscus is one. Hibiscus I call the once bitten, twice shy, but it's more immediate, it's more recent. Hibiscus allows you to heal those hurts so you can actually express who you are, feel a bit more comfortable, certainly be discerning, if you want to expose your true feelings and who you are. Hibiscus won't take that away, but it just helps you to get over some past hurts, bullying, but also bullying in relationships, particularly around intimacy and things like that in previous relationships, previous marriages, etc. Hibiscus helps heal those old hurts so the person can be themselves and feel confident to express themselves. And another one that's fantastic for resilience is Dogwood. And I'm thinking for that gentleman, I'm actually going to catch up with coffee, but if he's into natural therapies, I'll be somehow trying to recommend that he takes Dogwood. He may not, but it's one of the ones where, it really becomes entrenched, and I think it has with him. Dogwood's one of those things when you've been hurt, when you've been traumatized, it's almost like it becomes entrenched, it's just in you. It can even affect you physically. I have clients that I've given Dogwood to, and they'll come back and say, oh, I seem to have more flexibility. Or I remember one just recently came back and said, I've had this knee injury for years, and all of a sudden it's not giving me the same problem. And so it just to me reminds me that, Dogwood is these hurts that people can experience that just become entrenched in your whole being, and obviously very difficult to overcome. And it's almost like you've got this not only emotional scar tissue but physical scar tissue as a consequence. So they can Dogwood's a fantastic one to release some of those old hurts so you can approach life in a different way. So that's bouncing back from some of those traumatic bullying experiences, or someone who's been on the end of with a narcissist in a relationship, for example. Finally, I just want to say, again, in practice, a little practical hint. I over the years, many years of practice, have sent a lot of flower essences back with my clients, back to give to their pets. And I know on quite a few occasions over the years, I've given some flower essences for when there's been more than one dog, for example. So you've got this aggressive, territorial, very, as I say, aggressive, bullying male, and then you've got this more timid male that's there. And you don't want to interfere with the natural pecking system, and flower essences won't do that. But I remember the other week I sent something home. I gave Tiger Lily for the aggressive one, so they can be less aggressive, less territorial, you know, have a more win-win attitude. I'm sure they're not thinking that, but that's how it sort of transforms the animal. And I gave Violet, the shrinking Violet, for this other very timid dog, and the feedback I got, it's particularly helped around feeding time. They're both getting their food now. One isn't sort of hogging it all. So all of those things, and it's just another great example of how flower essences can work in your practice. And you can, as I say, you can treat from a distance for pets and animals, which really are often much easier to read than us humans, us complicated humans. So I hope you use the FES. There's so many opportunities there. Thanks for having me. I'll see you next time.